Coming up, we have your September 2020 Las Vegas real estate market update.
Hey, I'm Steve.
And I'm Kristen.
We are the Thomas Group with Love Local Real Estate, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors, here to bring you September 2020 Las Vegas real estate market update from
Nelson's Landing's Ghost Town.
Yeah. As you know, if you are first time tuning into our channel, every single month we like to do a market update for you, and we travel to a cool or quirky or different place in the valley just for a little bit of fun and show you guys everything else that is out here and that Las Vegas in the Valley has to offer. Nelson's Ghost Town here started in 1861. Nelson's Landing was originally a gold mining and silver mining area out in the southern part of Las Vegas in a town called Nelson, and now it's just basically a ghost town. We just met the guy who runs this little shop here, so if you want to come check out around here, you just pay your fee and you can feel free to wander it.
Yeah, it's really cool. He said that after the mine got shut down, like it was an actual ghost town, but a lot of it got pillaged. A private owner bought it, and he just started kind of like collecting stuff, collecting antiques and all these things, and this is the result, and it's really cool.
He said it's 40 years of hoarding.
Yeah.
Which is really fun. So yeah, there's some really wild stuff here. There's like some crashed planes from the military. You've got like school buses from every different period. We've got really quirky, fun things to do with mining and boating and everything in between.
And you can get married out here. You can do photo shoots. Lots of possibilities.
Yeah, in fact, the very first time I was introduced to this area, I was going cliff diving. I didn't dive. I'm a bit of a wussy. I jumped.
I'm surprised you still jumped. Yeah, you're scared of heights.
I'm scared of heights. Yeah, I thought that might have conquered it, but didn't. I got introduced to this area, and if you want to come check out the ghost town, you can. And of course, if you want some adventure and a little bit of adrenaline, then go jump off the cliff afterwards. Hope you come and check out Nelson's Landing when you're down in the valley in this part of town.
So before we get into it, sorry that we got our shades on here. We didn't quite think this through. We're in the middle of the desert here, and the sun's really bright. So we'll catch your eyeballs on the next video. Before we get into everything, we're going to be talking about obviously all the numbers, what's happening in the market, but we're also going to focus on some statistics that have come out, a report that's come out, and you're probably going to see regurgitated in multiple news sources about, Las Vegas.
Prices dripping.
Yeah, Las Vegas, Henderson, going to be hit the worst in the nation. And we're going to address that. We're going to go into it, tell you exactly what they looked at and our thoughts on it. So let's start with single family homes like we always do. So the median sales price for single family homes was $335,000. Now that's up 1.5% from the previous month and up 9.8% from the same time last year. So we are still seeing a solid appreciation.
Yeah, I mean, hate to say it, but real estate is booming.
It is.
All over the country right now. We'll talk a little bit about why we think this is happening shortly.
Yep, absolutely. For units sold, there were 2,910 single family homes sold last month. Now that's down 12.5% from the previous month and down 8.1% from the same time last year. We kind of talked about why we thought the demand was down a little bit. I think the previous few months, we were kind of seeing what is normally our spring market. So that spring demand and push. Now we're kind of moving toward the fall market.
And this year was a little bit of an outlier, right? In terms of other years. A lot of people, especially Californian buyers, they couldn't leave the state for a while because they were on lockdown.
Right.
So all of that like pent up demand just like came through the spring and in the summer. So I'm not surprised it's dropped a little bit now.
Plus it was so hot last month too, like home shopping in the heat.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Home shopping and the temperature.
Yeah, it's like how other parts of the country feel in the winter. When it's the winter, like in Michigan, say, like people don't want to go out home shopping. And, last month
through the snow and stuff.
Yeah, it was hard. I felt like I was out like cocktailing at the pool when I was showing homes. I was sweating. Now the inventory, there were 4,639 single family homes available for sale. That's down 3.5% from the previous month and down 40.3% from the same time last year.
Yeah, I mean, still heavily favoring the seller. If you're living in Las Vegas right now and you're thinking about jumping ship and moving somewhere else, I don't know if there's ever going to be a better time to sell your home, just with the low interest rates, the low inventory, and the quality of buyers, which we'll talk about shortly. The people that are moving here, very, very high quality buyers.
Absolutely.
So great time to sell your home in Vegas.
Yeah, and we're still hurting for inventory despite the number of new listings being up 5% from the previous month, but we still need more. And those new listings are down 5.5% from the same time last year. So like Steve said, if you're thinking about moving, it's a great time. Now, our effective months of inventory were 1.6. And now while that's up from the previous month by 10.3%, it's still down 35% from the same time last year.
10% sounds a lot, right? But when you're only dealing with 1.6 months of inventory, it's negligible, really.
Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, it's still heavily favoring the seller. If you're a buyer, you might expect to be going up against multiple offers.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to interrupt, the nice homes are like that are priced right. They're selling like the same day.
Oh, for
multiple
sure.
offers.
Especially if they're moving ready. I mean, they're like going fast. So that brings us to condos and townhomes. The median sales price last month was $185,000. Now that's down 5.6% from the previous month. But to be honest with you, last month was kind of a weird one. It was at 185 the month before that. Last month it went whoop to 195, and now it's back to where it was before. So, maybe there were some outliers that kind of skewed that higher. The average sales price didn't have such a big deviation. So
just the median price did.
Just the median price did, which is interesting. But saying that, the median sales price is still up 4.5% from the same time last year. So, really
steady appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. Now there were 684 condos and townhomes sold last month. That's down 2.3% from the previous month and down 10.8% from the same time last year. So we're kind of seeing the demand slow down a little bit. Overall this year for total sales, we're still 10% behind last year, but quite honestly, like 10% during a pandemic, I think.
Is that just on single family?
That's all,
townhomes?
that's single family.
Oh, go away, wasp.
But that's a whole residential market.
Ah, okay.
So single family, townhomes, high rise. We're only 10% behind, which again, I don't think that's that bad considering.
Yeah, I mean, 1 in 5 Americans, unfortunately, is unemployed right now. So the buyer pool is 20% smaller.
You're right.
So is there any surprise? Not really.
No, you're totally right. Now, there were 1,544 condos and townhomes available for sale last month. That's down 2.3% from the previous month and down 17% from the same time last year. So again, we're just really hurting.
Same sort of trends as the single family, everything's no inventory and prices going up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, again, same thing. Even though that we had slightly higher new listings, 1.8% from the previous month and 1.5% from the same time last year, the new listings just still aren't enough to keep up with the demand.
Yeah, for sure.
And last but not least, months of inventory for condos and townhomes is 2.3. That's pretty much the same as the previous month and down 6.9% from the same time last year. Still heavily favoring the seller.
I wanted to talk to you really quickly, Kristen, just to wrap up the market update. Actually, a client approached me about a week ago. I didn't know where she actually got all of this information from. And then just funnily enough, a client called you last night panicking because they'd read this article, and we just wanted to share a little bit of information with you about it because you may have been exposed to it or read something similar, wherever you are. So there's a company called CoreLogic, and CoreLogic have all sorts of data on real estate sales. And what CoreLogic did back in June is they produced an article that predicted Las Vegas would be one of the hardest hit areas in terms of price dropping.
Yeah, they said 20% they predict by 2022.
The Nevada Current published an article in September on a report that was created back in June.
Yeah.
Now, why we're sharing this with you is because between June and September, a lot of things have happened. Mm-hmm. This pandemic's been very fluid in terms of a lot of changes, a lot of policy changes, not just, in the government, but how businesses, how people are thinking, living their lives. And there's been a huge paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Because what this article is just facing the facts on is unemployment levels and what else?
Yeah, so they're looking, actually not even at unemployment levels, they're looking at the number of mortgages that are delinquent. That means that they're over 90 days past due. Now, that would also include people that are in mortgage forbearance. We know people that are still employed, they're doing fine financially, and have taken the mortgage forbearance just because they can.
Some of our friends, right, that's who they are, right, have done that. And we're pretty sure that there's probably a few other people out there that have done the same thing as well. So for me, that number's not even a true number.
The government's put in place at the end of the mortgage forbearance that as long as the loan is backed by Freddie Mae or Fannie Mac, which the majority of them are, the mortgage company can't just call it due and then foreclose on the house. They're tacking it on to the end. So it's not a traditional delinquency statistic.
It's like a break. At 12 months, you don't pay any mortgage. And then at that 12 months, you just start paying your mortgage again. It's not the 12 months all due at one time, like you said.
Right. Some people will be in trouble. Like, we're not going to downplay it, but like,
the 12 months gives you a lot of time.
It gives you a lot of time to figure out if you need to sell in the meantime. You know, now is a great time to sell and cash out if you know that you're going to be still in trouble in 12 months. Now, the other important thing to know about what CoreLogic looked at with their data is they basically took the gross income of per capita for the population of Las Vegas, and they compared that to housing prices. This would make sense if Las Vegas was in like a little bubble and no one could come in and no one could come out.
Like in the Truman Show.
Like in the Truman Show, exactly. But that's not what's happening. And so while, yes, unfortunately, Las Vegas has one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation, the people that are unemployed are not the ones buying houses right now.
Let's just face it. We've helped people that are in a sticky situation and have needed to sell their home because of what's going on. But the thing is, there's so little homes for sale that as soon as we list it, boom, it's sold. Right. So that inventory is just not going to change. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't even see it happening in the next year.
Right.
Quite frankly. But that's, I'll put my neck on the line saying that. Yeah. If you're waiting for prices to drop, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, so hopefully that helped kind of explain it.
I watched an interview with the CEO of Redfin, and he said that they surveyed all of their employees to see how many of them would want to come back to the office part-time, how many employees would like to go back full-time, and how many employees would basically not rather go back at all, but still be employed. Yeah.
That's what I'm checking.
Right. Well, 80% also checked it, right?
Yeah.
Big companies, not just in like California, but all over the valley, all over the country, they are realizing that they don't need to be in big, expensive office buildings paying huge leases. Their employees are quite often happier and more productive when they're working from home. So a lot of people have been given the opportunity of relocating, still staying employed in California, move your home out to Nevada, save 10 or 14% on your state income tax because there isn't any here.
Right.
But still be employed, right? It's a win-win. Property prices lower, cost of living lower. I mean, these are all, I could go on and on, right? But these are all factors that reports like CoreLogic.
I love data, and it's good to look at and to see trends and to understand. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's like all economics. You can learn the theories and stuff, but what actually happens out here in the free market, I mean, it's the Wild West like this, like who knows what's going to happen. You can't just stick to like the numbers and say, oh, this is for sure what's going to happen. It just doesn't work like that.
No. The election is always one of those times that throws a little uncertainty and people are a little bit unsure about, but this is just, for me, is supply and demand. While the inventory is so low and the demand is so high out here, just pushing the prices up.
We're literally getting calls every single day. Same story, people that are in California, other parts of the US, they're just unhappy with their living situation. I mean, the coronavirus has really made people rethink.
Yeah, it's been a huge paradigm shift.
Yeah.
I listened to this lady in San Francisco who worked in tech. Her and her husband had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, 1,400 square foot apartment, which supposedly is like a palace over there. Wow. But she said that after they got, quarantined and they had to stay in the house with their, 2-year-old daughter, that 1,400 square foot started to feel a lot smaller, and she said like she felt like the walls were almost like closing in on her. And during that time she started realizing that the things she thought were important really weren't. She loved living in the city for the the convenience of the city life, being able to walk to the shops and everything like that. But now she's gone and left the city, moved into Napa Valley, and is growing vegetables, got a big yard. She's just loving life right now. This has happened to a lot of people. Their priorities are changing, they're shifting. They're wanting to maybe be in an environment where you've got 300 days of sun every single year,
Lots
no
of
state
outdoors
income tax,
activities.
loads of outdoors activities. Because who would have thought that real estate would have been booming in the middle of a pandemic?
Right.
I certainly wouldn't.
No, me either.
We hope you've found some great info and enjoyed our market update for this month. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so. We appreciate each and every one of you that has reached out to us, that likes our videos, that comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and message them in the comments. We do our best to respond to everybody. And if you'd like to schedule a consultation with us, maybe you're thinking about making a move yourself, please visit our website, thethomasgrouplv.com, and you can find all of our information on there. But for now, we hope you're well, and we'll see you soon.